Hey, Tim Irwin here. Back again. I'm going to try to finish up this whole series of videos on what you want and what you need. Back here at Cigar City Hot Rods and More. I'm going to show you around the shop. As most of you know, probably from my last video if you watched, and I'll blame you if you didn't, that I was out for knee surgery. So we're probably 6 weeks into my second knee replacement. Doing really well. Weak, but doing good, feeling good. So just got to get some strength back and lose a little weight from sitting on my butt. So I'm gonna walk around the shop and talk a little bit more about this stuff, and then from here on out it's mostly gonna be, you know, things that I think about or things I look at when I build cars and repair cars, because I do a lot of race car repair as well, and I must enjoy it because it seems to come my way. So I'm going to show you around a little bit and talk about some more wants and needs. And then I'm going to show you a couple other things on brake systems, stuff like that. So what's going on in the shop. Here goes. Ken's truck, getting close to completion. Ronnie has been working on that a ton. We've got parts here to go to powder coat, pull all the heim joints and stuff out of them. Let's talk about needs. I don't know if I mentioned this before. That baby right there is a need. Everybody needs a grinder. Okay? A bench grinder. Another very important part in the shop is a vise. I see so many people on YouTube out there holding steel and cutting it with a cutoff wheel or grinding on it. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. That is a good way to lose fingers. And I know that because I've had friends that have done it. So if you got to grind something or cut something, clamp it to a table or clamp it with a vise. Don't hold it with your hand. We talked about the bandsaw. It's a need. In my instance, for you it'd probably be a 1 if you're starting out, but you know, that's like one handy piece of equipment. And this one here was gifted to me and I repaired it. So, you know, do what you got to do. Like I say, this one here was a gift. The guy had it in his garage forever and wasn't using it because it didn't have a top on it. And I just had a top water jetted and fit it and blaze. You know? Okay, look at this shelf here. Drills. You can't have enough drill bits. This big brown box here has got big bits in it, like up to 1 inch, that have been turned down to fit in my antique drill press, which is another need. I'm telling you, it's a handy thing to drill holes square and metal. And I used, like, if you look down here at the bottom, see that 3-jaw chuck? It was thrown away, and I used that. I set that on the table. If I'm tapping a piece of tubing, and I can put a tap in the chuck and get it started in that tube so it's going in perfectly straight, or to drill tubes out, you know, because some of the DOM stuff when you're tapping it doesn't fit. So drill bits, a must have. Even if you just got one set and a couple step drills, this is just stuff I've accumulated. Up here, you're going to do a lot of drilling and tapping. This is like a small set from like 4 up to 1/4 inch. Transfer punches, cordless drills, not a necessity, but like that's usually one of the first things you buy, cordless drill. I'm not a big fan of cordless grinders and stuff like that because batteries are so expensive and they just don't last long. Okay, this would be a coin toss right here. The belt sander, I'm telling you, you have this tool and that tool down there, you can make any tab or bracket you want. Is it cost effective? Usually not, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Okay, up here on the bench I got a box of files that I use a lot. Sawzall, I got, you know, consumables, sockets, Allen wrenches. I think I talked about this little bandsaw here. I built it a long time ago and it is one handy dandy unit when you want to set it on the bench close to where you're working. Super portable. Then I've got my pile of corded tools. Cordless saws all there, but you know, sanders, grinders, wire wheels, drills, you can't have enough. Down there, Clecos. Their needs when you're doing tin work. Okay, needs. Over in this area right here, taps, some other odds and ends in here, like this little dealio here I'll show you. This is a tap starter. You notice it's big on one end and smaller on the other. This is designed to slip over a tube, and you clamp it in a vise, and then the tap goes down in this end, and it helps you get the tap started straight into the tubing. I use this is like for 1-inch tubing to start a 3/4 inch tap in it. Handy piece of equipment. So handy piece of equipment. Then center punches, stuff like that. Consumables. See this? Can't have enough of that stuff. Grinding wheels, cut off wheels. You know, I am constantly ordering this stuff, and just we go through it like crazy. Those are up here on the wall. These are jigs for shock, you know, shock positioning and stuff like that I've made for different types of shocks and cars. And tape measures, magnets, handy dandy. These tape measures here, you know, we've got several different kinds. One of the things you want to look at when you're buying tape measures, make sure they read the same, because I bought tape measures out there, you know, trying to save a buck, and they'll be 1/8 of an inch off, and one guy's measuring, another guy's cutting. Yeah, you're just making scrap. You know, down here I've got center sections that I use for narrowing housings and stuff like that. Let me show you a couple other things. Like I say, consumables. You got a bandsaw, you need blades for it. Don't do without them. You know, mock-up motor. Go figure. You know, it's easy to use something like this and fill it full of dirt versus a good motor that you're, you know, planning on putting in the car. And it just saves you effort. So, and as well, you can see we've got, you know, I've shown you before, the tube benders, my bandsaw, welders. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff that I've collected over the years. Yeah, in the tubing rack. Look at that. You know, it may not look like a lot of tubing, but there's a bunch of money I've got invested there. But you never know. Somebody comes in, needs something done. I got most everything there they can do it with. And, you know, huge investment in this facility. Down there I've got my fine threaded bolt bins for hardware that I'm constantly stocking. Back in the back, we'll come back here and look at this. You know, we got, this is my little paint prep room. Stuff piled all over the joint, bolts and nuts, and, you know, just stuff. Back here's my Camaro. My buddy Jim Dunleavy's working on this for me. We've got the body's been all block sanded down to 220, so we're cleaning the chassis now and getting ready to paint the inside of the car and the chassis, the underneath, and everything else gloss black. The car's going to be like a candy apple brandywine color. I've been working on this thing about 3 years. I should have had it done a long time ago. There's the front end for it, parts and pieces I built there. So yeah, junk. Rotisserie, not a necessity till you get to be my age and have bad knees and a bad back, you know. But hopefully by then you'll have room to store all this stuff. Engine hoist, irreplaceable. Floor jacks, you know. Skylar B's car here, we have not touched it. I haven't been able to, as you well know. So I'm just, like I say, getting to the point, and Ronnie and Jim been crushing things for me here at the shop, so I can keep a little bit of income going while I'm off work. So, but the truck, wheel tubs are in. We got the wing almost finished. I got to do the spill plates on the wing. Radiator, we built the shroud for it. When I walked through, you've probably seen that. Got all that done. We had to weld the firewall in it. It had a steel firewall in it, but it was, the rivets were all falling out loose, so we welded that in. And then I started working on the floors in here. Show you a little bit of this. We got some of the tin in there, and I built this transition for the tunnel yesterday. I could actually sit down in the chair and weld that together for Ronnie, so we got all that done. It's going pretty good. One of the things I wanted to show you that is important to me should be important to you as well, look down here so you're not staring at the wall, is brake systems. To me, car don't need to go if it can't stop. And the pedal system I used in this truck, because there's no room, was this Willwood, like mounts up underneath the dash. Master cylinders go behind the dash cover and everything else. Easy to access, easy to fill. But like when you work on a vehicle like this, things to look forward at is, you know, the motor set way back in this thing. You look down here, if I'd have put a master cylinder out here, the tire to hit on it, it had a rub. So I had to come up with something different. This originally had one that was up underneath the floor, but I don't like doing that stuff because typically they fill full of dirt and stick, and then guys will wonder why my car runs different ETs all the time. It's basically because your master cylinder is collecting dirt from the racetrack. This takes all the science out of it right here, this baby. Pedal ratio's right, uses the right master cylinder, and the bonus to it is that it's got a bias bar in the top of it right here, so you can adjust brake bias, you know, the pressure in the front versus rear. Awesome piece to use on race cars, and they make several different varieties of these, where they'll, you know, floor mount, stick through the firewall, master cylinders, just lots of stuff. So if you're building your first car, I would highly recommend using something like this. One little bracket and you're good to go. That should about wrap it up for this video. We've not done nothing to the Henry J. Like I say, with my knees being bad, it's just been setting. But we're gonna get on this stuff here real quick and show you some good information, hopefully. Well, thanks for watching this one. Hopefully I'll have another one out in a week. Thanks for watching.